Buongiorno classe! Come state? Sto molto bene, grazie. All right, so oggi nella lezione della classe di italiano, today in our lesson for Italian class, we are going to be asking and answering domande con verbi are. Asking and answering questions with ARE verbs. It would be super helpful for you to have le note, your notes nel grammatica in your grammar section, per favore, so we can fill them in and go over them insieme together. So, first things first, question words. Let's do a quick review, shall we? Perché, why, quando, when, che, what, dove, where, quanto, how much, come, how, and chi means who is there. Si! So, again, this is our helpful song to help us remember or ricordare le parole, the words in Italiano. Perché, why, quando, when, che, what, dove, where, quanto, how much, come, how, and chi means who is there. Si! So, helpful hint in each answer. When there is a perché question, we always answer with the reason why. Quando, we give some sort of time, right? This is the same in Inglés, it's the same in English. Que, what, is looking for a thing, object, or nacionalidad, nationality. Where or dove is looking for a place. Where is my notebook? Is it in scuola, school? Under the bed, location, right? At my house, home. Quanto, how much or how many? Looking for a numero, not hashtag, but old people used to call these as numeri. I would consider myself anciana at this point in time. Come, how? Looking for a physical or personal adjective, right? How is that Italian teacher? Oh, she's crazy. Adjective, I don't know. Or she's brunette, e bruna. Key, person looking for a name. Who is the Italian teacher? That's Stefano. All right, so asking and answering domande con are. Now, in Italiano, in Italian, there are three different types of domande. Questions asked in the to form. For example, how are you? We answer with, it is io, right? How are you? I am well. Next domanda is in the voi form. Hey, what are y'all doing? Che fate voi? We, in Italiano, becomes noi. We are studying for la classe di italiano. Noi studiamo. Now, lui, lei, and loro, what is he doing? What is she doing? What are they doing? Here we are talking about verbi that stay the same. What is he doing? He is studying. Is. What is he doing, right? What does she study? She studies Italian. Okay. All right. So the first things first, what is the question word? Pensate. Think about these questions. What do they mean? Always starting with the question word. Hint, it's always at the beginning of the domanda. This is the same in Italiano and in Inglese. So per esempio, for example, chi sono loro? Well, the first thing we need to do to understand questa domanda, this question, is to know what the question word is. Chi, who? Okay, we're going to go step by step. The next thing to think about is what is the verb and who is the question about? It's the last part of la frase, the sentence or la domanda. Okay, so in this example, and in most examples, the verb always comes next. In this case, chi sono is the verb. And of course, last is going to be the pronoun, loro. Who are they? Little bit of review con il verbo essere from l'anno scorso, from last year. However, the same remains true per anche I nostri verbi are. Let's take a look at this pratica section. Traduciamo. Let's translate these questions. There are six of them. Now, sulle note, on your notes, rispondete, you are going to, notice there's a risposta section, right, and just a blank line. Right now, we are only translating. Traduciamo le domande from Italiano to Inglese. Quando navighi l'internet? In front of you, you should have these notes. You should also have your lista di verbi vocabolario, your ARE verb vocab list. This will help you. Quando navighi l'internet? In inglese, perché, why, quando, when. So, when navighi l'internet. In inglese vuol dire, it means, when do you navigate the internet? Vi incoraggio, I encourage you to pause the video now so you can write down, potete scrivere, you are able to write down the translation under numero uno. Of course, you are leaving the risposta, the response section blank per adesso. Numero due, number two. La domanda in italiano. Quanti studenti ci sono nella nostra classe? So again, think of your question word. Quanti studenti ci sono nella nostra classe? Perché, why, quando, when, che, what, dove, where, quanto, how much, or how many. So how many students, it is, how many students are in our class? Again, vi incoraggio, I encourage you to pause the video and write this down. Numero tre, number three. Chi, again, using le note per favore, chi dei tuoi professori dà molti compiti. Chi is a who word. Even if you're not sure what the dei tuoi professori, we know who, something teachers, dà molti compiti, gives a lot of homework. In inglese, who of your teachers gives a lot of homework? Numero 4. Che fai dopo scuola? Guardiamo, we take a look at the vocab list. Che means what? In inglese vuol dire, it means, what do you do after school? Numero 5. Dove andate dopo scuola tu e tuoi amici? Cosa vuol dire in inglese? What does this mean in English? Vuol dire, it means, where do you and your friends go after school? Here you'll notice that andate is in the voi form, you and your friends. Numero 6. Come arrivano a scuola tuoi amici? So come is the question word. We know come means how. Arrivano, verb, and it's conjugated. We know it's in the loro form because it ends in anno. So how, in inglese vuol dire, how do your friends arrive to school? At this time, you should have all sei domande written down in inglese sulle note. Sulle note. Sulle. Next part. Guardate. Look at the question. Look at it and listen to it. Non usate, vi incoraggio. I encourage you not to use your notes. Cosa vuol dire? What does it mean in inglese? Quando navighi l'internet. Just think about it. You can do it senza le note. You know these words. It means, when do you navigate the internet? Prossima, next one. Quanti studenti ci sono nella nostra classe? Again, think about la domanda. Cosa vuol dire? What does it mean in inglese? You know these words. Quanti studenti ci sono nella nostra classe? Vuol dire, it means, how many students are there in our class? Chi dei tuoi professori dà molto compiti? Chi dei tuoi professori dà molti compiti? Again, vi incoraggio, I encourage you to look and listen alle domande. You know what these mean. Non servite, you don't need your paper. Who of your teachers gives a lot of homework? Che fai dopo scuola? Che fai dopo scuola? Cosa vuol dire in inglese? It means, what do you do after school? Dove andate dopo scuola tu e tuoi amici? Dove andate dopo scuola tu e tuoi amici? Where do you and your friends go after school? Come arrivano a scuola tuoi amici? Come arrivano a scuola tuoi amici? How do your friends arrive to school? La prossima parte, the next part, rispondiamo alle domande. Now let's start to answer them. For this part, you are going to need to use this helpful chart, okay? Now, numero uno, number one, quando navighi l'internet? The question's in the to form, and the reason I know that is because navighi ends in la lettera I. So domanda in the to form, we answer with io. I'm going to give you the sentence starter, and you have to fill in the rest. It's a personal domanda, it's your opinione. When do you navigate the internet? Io navigo l'internet dopo scuola, or a casa, at home, dopo cena, after dinner. Okay, I can help you with words here, in persona, in person. Numero due, quanti studenti, now quanti, how many? Okay, it's looking for some sort of numero, number. Ci sono nella nostra classe. Now, sono is our verbo here. It's in the loro form, which means it stays the same nella risposta. Looking for a number, diciamo, we can always say based on in person or totale, 10, let's say 10. There are, so it is, ci sono, the number of studenti. Numero 3. Chi dei tuoi professori dà molti compiti? Da is the Louis Lay form. If we look at our chart, Louis Lay domande stay the same. So who's looking for a person? You could say blank, right? Signora De Stefano, da molti compiti. Or fill in the blank with another professore. Professore Robinson, professoressa Simmons, non lo so. Numero 4. Che fai dopo scuola? So fai here is in the to form, which means rispondiamo, we answer with io. Now here, what do you do after school? You could say I do my homework. You could say I study. It doesn't have to be the same verb fare, okay? Dopo scuola, after school, io, I, fill in the blank, okay? This is tua risposta. Dopo scuola, I navigate Instagram. Dopo scuola, I send messaggi. Okay? Numero 5. Dove andate dopo scuola tu e tuoi amici? Here, it's a void question, which means if we look at the chart, rispondiamo, we're answering with noi. So where do you and your friends go to school? We go, noi andiamo, and here you fill in the blank. Again, la risposta might be a little different. You go to your house, our houses. Okay, we'll go over these in persona. And numero 6, come arrivano a scuola tuoi amici? So arrivano, loro form, loro questions stay the same in the answer. Come, how? Okay, so we need to give some sort of like reason or object, right? How do they arrive to school? They arrive, loro arrivano a scuola, or my friends, miei amici, arrivano a scuola in the car, on the bus, okay? Voi decidete, you decide, fill in the blanks. We will go over queste domande e risposte in persona, in person, ma vi incoraggio, I do encourage you to practice listening to the questions and answering them again out loud as best as possibile in italiano. Vi incoraggio, I encourage you to ask un genitore, un cugino, un amico, maybe even FaceTime with a friend in class to practice asking and answering queste domande. See? Ciao!